Hi YouTube, it's Cori from Pat and Cori. It's a nap right when I started recording. That's freaking great. My plants are going out of control. I think I'm overwatering them. Because if I don't water them, then Pat gets mad at me for not watering them. He's like, why are you watering the plants? So now we have gnats. So thank you, Patrick. Thank you. Anyway, so this video is about a very exciting project I have been working on for a very, very embarrassingly long amount of time. And so I'm just going to tell you about it. But before we get into it, please make sure you subscribe to our channel. It really helps. I really want to get to 1,000 subscribers. This is supposed to be a second source of income for us, YouTube, but it's taken like a year and a half, partly because of my own motivation. But please, we really appreciate the support. I love all your comments. It makes my day. I respond to them all pretty much. So if you do subscribe, please write subscribe, and I will say thank you very much personally to you if you subscribe as a result of this video. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So this video is basically me announcing, saying that I have a book coming out. I have been working on this book since like 2015 when we started our tiny house blog. I wish we had started a tiny house YouTube channel, but you know, nobody's perfect. So I started this useless blog basically that nobody really read. And but the best thing about it was that I took a lot of photos, because otherwise I was not like a photo person back in the day, because we had this really crappy digital camera, and you will see some of our photos are absolutely horrendous. But I have no other record of the tiny house. And also I wanted to write this book to have all of the information in one place and not spread all over the internet like it is right now. I will show you that in a moment. But basically the concept and the ideas of writing a whole book was just so foreign to me. I've had to split it up into parts for myself so I could comprehend the magnitude of trying to self-publish a book. So the first part basically of writing a book is you have the idea. You write an outline or don't write an outline. It doesn't matter what kind of writer you are. It doesn't matter. Or you can change it too. Write the outline and then write the book. So those three parts, I'll show you how I did that. I went through a lot of different iterations of how and where to actually write the book, from, you know, Google Documents to I tried Scrivener, and now I use Reedsy, which is pretty flippin' convenient. So that's the first part. That's the easy part. That's the part that I'm in control of. The second part is like the behind the scenes to getting your book ready. So you basically have to get your cover. You have to write your summary. You have to figure out what your title is going to be. You have to do the editing and the formatting. So a lot of these things are just like project managing kind of stuff, but still a lot of work and making sure that things get, you know, progress on time. So that's the behind the scenes part that I had no clue about. I took a few online classes about it, trying to figure it out. And yeah, it was still really overwhelming. Is still really overwhelming because it's not published yet. It's not finished. I'm just writing this video to motivate myself and to get subscribers. Yay. Okay, so the last part is like the actual behind the scenes physical process of getting your book online for other people to purchase. So you have to upload it to KDP, which is Kindle Direct Publishing. You have to get your keywords together. You got to figure out what categories your book is going to be in. You have to figure out your price. You got to get your author page set up. I haven't done that yet. So I'll show you what I've done to prepare myself for this background part, because it's pretty flipping intimidating if you've never done this before. There's a lot of information out there online, but not a lot of like, this is actually how you do it. And so I've just picked and, you know, chosen and picked a little bits of the general information and general ideas that I've gotten online. And this is just what I have decided to choose and what I've decided to execute upon. So that was a long intro, but I will get started and show you basically where we started from and how I got here. So I'm going to minimize my face, Go away, face. And I'll show you, this is our first South Island Tiny House blog. We chose WordPress because it was free and I knew a tiny, tiny bit about WordPress. So this is the tiny house in Christchurch. And I went through like so many formats of the blog. It turns out I was just unhappy with the formatting, or I was just unhappy with the blog and it wasn't the formatting necessarily that was the problem. So although it's pretty crap, at least I tried. That's all I can say. So yeah, I mean, some of them are like quite to the point. Some of them are quite silly. We had a little bit of viewership. But the best part about it was that it made me take photos because I was never a photo person. Now I am. It made me take photos. It made me think logically about the small bits and bobs of our project. And so at least I had that as like a basis for the book. And that's what inspired me to do the book. It's like, I just want to take all the blog posts and put it in one place so that somebody can buy it and read it all conveniently and not have to deal with, going through the whole blog. So that was our first website. And then I was like, you know what? Oh, why is that coming up? You know what? I really want to make a legitimate website. So let's buy a domain and let's pay for Squarespace. So I decided to buy this domain, and which is helpful now that, we have the tiny house on Airbnb. I don't know if I mentioned that, but the tiny house is on Airbnb. So you could read the book and stay in the tiny house. That was like my whole, grand master plan, but whatever, we'll see if that happens. Okay. So basically I just put everything from the blog onto this website. I've been trying to post my latest videos, but sometimes I fail. And you can read the blog, you can see some photos, and it also has some ads for like Patrick's Welding Services because we also build tiny house trailers. So that is the website. That's like a more flexible, adsy kind of place that people can go if they want more information. So the book is really going to replace the blog. So that's basically where I started from. And then I started writing, basically. So I started with just like a Word document, and I wasn't feeling super motivated, partly because I keep changing computers and it was hard to keep one document in the same place. So then I put it on to Google Docs, and I literally just made a Google Doc, put everything in there, and then promptly forgot about it. So I was like, you know what I need? I need to download Scrivener. That's what real writers have, and that's how they write successfully and finish their projects. So I downloaded Scrivener, and then I hated it. So I never used it, but that is where I did the vast majority of my writing. And then as I was doing like my second and third draft, I researched and came across, Reedsy. So this is where I've been doing the majority of my tiny house writing. In the midst of writing this tiny house book, you can read an article about this. I put it on Medium about Gumroad. I watched a video about how you can get like these open domain books on Gumroad and like try to resell it as your own book. It was a horrible fail. It's a horrible concept, let alone as an idea. But it did give me the confidence to just do it. That was like my biggest roadblock, is just like, can I actually is it really just like pressing a button and just putting it out there? And yes, it is as simple as that. So I was like, you know what? Let me search Gumroad for what other tiny house content there is. There wasn't much, but there was this lady who had written some tips about tiny house. I was like, I know plenty of tips about tiny houses. Why haven't I thought of that? So Patrick and I sat down one evening instead of watching Netflix, and we just wrote out these 50 tips. I'll click on it. And originally it was on Gumroad. I just literally like saved a Word document as a PDF, and that was my tips. And I didn't even have a price on it. It's just pay whatever you feel like paying. And only one person has downloaded it. So thank you to that one person, wherever you are. I hope you liked it because it was horrible. So I took that first iteration of my tips and I have now like fleshed it out a bit, added some photos. And so this is my tips book. So it just has an introduction and then it's literally just tips. Why are they all highlighted? Underlined. That's weird. Anyway, so obviously the formatting needs some help. So these are all just the tips that I've just listed and I put them into categories. Oh no, that's why. This is the first draft. First draft. It says right there. So basically the first draft, I had it all mismatched. I still had it in my 2 groupings about designing and building and then living in a tiny house. And then I was like, you know what? I got some feedback and someone's like, you shouldn't do that. You should categorize it because people like categories if they're specifically looking for something. So I reorganized it. And the whole idea behind this is I'm going to use this as a, I'm going to put it online. I'm going to put it on Amazon as a free book to try to get people interested in buying my actual book. And also I'll probably give it away on the website as one of those lead magnets or whatever fancy people call them. So this is my introduction with some nice photos. And then I broke it into designing your tiny house on wheels, designing and visualizing. This was like the first mock-up of the house and just some ideas, just literally just tips. It's not extensive. It's not complicated, just handy tips and tricks for designing, building, and living. And that's it. And I'm going to be giving away for free. So that's the first thing that I used to procrastinate to not write my book is I wrote this tips book. I was like, oh, this is such a great idea. But still procrastination nonetheless. So as you can see, Reedsy is super, super helpful for keeping all this stuff organized. It saves automatically. I can open it from anywhere. I can work on it on my phone or on my various computers around the house. So I really, really like Reedsy. And I'm pretty sure that this is probably the only reason that I was able to get to this point. So this is the South Island Tiny House actual book that I procrastinated on for years and years and years, but that I am finally going to finish. I've got about 10 chapters right now. The issue is I didn't realize that KDP is kind of annoying when it comes to photos. So I don't know how I'm going to deal with that yet. Maybe I'll just do like a separate PDF photo to go with I don't know yet. But anyway, so I don't think I can keep these photos in there, but I think photos, tell a really good story. So this is basically just why we went tiny, and then it goes into the whole story, basically, loosely based on the blog post. So this is the book. It is on Reedsy. Reedsy has a really handy button where you can just download it as a PDF. It's not formatted particularly well, I have to say. I've been pretty disappointed with how it looks every time I hit that button. But I will be sending it on to a formatter, which is an important part. So that basically goes into the first part of writing a book. You got to have your idea. You got to have your outline. You got to write the book. Okay, I have my idea. My outline was from my blog. The book. Here you go. Book one is the DIY tips. Book 2 is the South Island Tiny House book. Okay. Next part is the self-publishing behind the scenes part. So you got to get your cover. I chose 100 covers as the company that I want to work with to get my cover. So it's just $100 to get a cover design. And I have decided to, the print pack, I forget where it is, how it works, blah, de blah. The Pro Pack? Is that what I got? Working on a series. Here it is. Working on a series. So I have decided to get the ebook, the print pack, and then you get 50% off for the next one. So I emailed the guy. Here's my email. Matt Stone is who I've been talking to. And I just said, I'll just pay for it all in one invoice. It's ready to start now. And you know what? I wasn't ready. I'm not going to lie to you. I did not have all the information yet. I didn't even know what I was going to call my books. But I started the process, and that gave me a time that I had to, a deadline that I had to keep myself to. So their website asked for this information: date submitted, name, email, book author name, the title, the subtitle, the description, or the overview. I can't tell you how long this took me. I sent it to my mom to double check. I had Patrick reading over so many versions of it. So it actually took me like maybe 10 revisions to get it to the place that I want. They also ask about what ideas you have for your design. I had no idea. Basically, all I have here, I'll show you. All I had was this logo that I paid for. Where is it? Here it is. I paid for this guy called House Logos on Instagram. I found him on Instagram. Freaking so cool. This was $100 and he gave me like 3 different options. So maybe they'll incorporate that. Maybe they'll just use this photo that we got from a drone. Who knows? Maybe they'll just use that color green. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do because I've never done this before. So we'll see. I'll keep you posted. Okay. So basically the information they wanted was what kind of designs you had, idea. So I just said simple, minimal, maybe that color green from the logo, maybe not. And I sent them the logo. And then they also said, list 2 current bestsellers on Kindle Store, which genre you'd like to, that are the best or most similar to yours. So I'll show you these. These are just, and it took a long time for me to do this Amazon research. I'll freaking tell you. Jesus, it's less like a rabbit hole, Amazon, straight up. So this is one that I found. He has a lot of ratings. Oh, and I have to say, freaking the tiny house movement is extremely male dominated. It's not bad enough that it's pretty much only white people who build tiny houses, but it's extremely male dominated. So the fact that my name, Cori Ann Holmes, is going to be in the mix, at least there's that. Okay, a little diversity, a little sprinkle of, special. So that's the first book that I found. And then the second one is this one. The Big Tiny. So I remember watching her video back when we were in the States before we moved to New Zealand. So this is like a legit book she has like a publisher and all that jazz. And it's quite long too. I don't even know how long my book is going to be, but mine's coming up to like 15,000 words. So it's not even that big. And so both of the prices are pretty high, but these are like books that you can like, keep on your coffee table. So these are like professionally done books, and mine is not going to be professional by any means. There are some other options on there. And there's a lot of scams out there. Some of the tiny house books that I looked up, they weren't even like in good English. Like clearly was just written by a robot. So when I see stuff like that, I'm like, okay, well, at least my book won't be the worst. It won't be the worst book. Okay, so here we are back on that form. So I had to make 2 forms. So this is the form that I was working on, and I kept them next to each other so that I could get a better understanding for how they would complement each other. So basically, the title for my tips book is going to be 50 Tiny House on Wheels DIY Tips. And then this is the subtitle, quite long. It's going to be free, and it's by me. The second book is just simply Seth on a Tiny House, Our Journey Moving to New Zealand and Building a Tiny House on Wheels, by me. And I don't know how much I'll charge. I literally have no clue. It might be 99 cents. It might be free. Because honestly, who's going to read it? I don't know. It took me a long time, as I said before, to write these summaries. But as soon as I did finish them, I separated everything into these 2 submission forms. This is submission form 1, and this is submission form 2, and then I sent it away. And I sent it away today, as you can see, 44 minutes ago. So we'll see what they say and if they come back. Okay, so that is step 1. That is step 1 of part 2, I should say. Sorry, the sun is like literally getting in my face this morning. Okay. So that is the cover. And now on to the editing. So Reedsy is actually pretty convenient in that when you first go to their homepage, they have a way you can search for editors and send away like a request for editing. So I did that. And I heard back from some people canceled, some people declined, as you can see. 2 people canceled. Did I cancel them? Or did I decline these people? No, they declined me and I declined them. This is the only woman who's like, I will help you for an affordable price. And but she said she was busy, which has actually worked out really well because I've just been continuing to work on it. So I will be sending it to her hopefully on the 15th. I said the second half of June. So I'm really going to do it exactly on when the second half of June starts. So it's not going to be $225. I forget how much she said she was going to charge me. We've just been discussing it here. So it would cost, okay, at a rate of $550 for both items, tips and the book and the tips giveaway. Sounds good. As for payment, I believe Reedsy will have you create an account through Stripe. I already have a Stripe account. So that's it. Good luck wrapping up your final draft. Okay, so that's it. So yeah, that was like a huge load off my back. I was like, oh, thank goodness. I don't have to go searching the whole wide internet for an editor. I could just use Reedsy's pre-approved editors, and this Jillian Harvey is going to help me. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, so the last part is formatting. I did message a woman on Fiverr, I think, to do the formatting for me. She didn't respond, so I'll probably just find someone else once the editing is done to format it, because I do have some weird photos, and I want to ask them about what I should do about the photos. I want to ask them about like the chapter titles, how spread out it should be, yada, yada, yada. The behind the scene part is done. Cover, editing, formatting. At least I have a plan. Okay, at least I have a plan. The cover has been submitted. The editing part I'm going to do in 4 days. The formatting part I will do after the editing is done. So all that is done. Last part is the KDP part, the uploading part. So I'm going to just close that. I'm going to close my covers. I'll close that. I'll close that. I'll close that. Okay, so for the KDP uploading part, this actually part was the part that scared me the most. First of all, I'm not a huge fan of Amazon, but you know, if you can't beat them, join them kind of situation. So I decided to, and I do have a Kindle Unlimited because I figured since I read so many flipping books, I might as well have an unlimited library. And I used to use it from I used to rent my books from the library. But there's the waiting lists are so flipping crazy long. So that's why I decided to get Kindle Unlimited, which is good. It like gave me a lot of familiarity with Amazon, the pages, and buying the books and blah, blah, blah. So, but there's a difference between reading a book and uploading a book. So I watched this YouTube video about this woman that does low content books. A low content book is a book where the buyer puts most of the content in. So you actually don't have to do that much. And my mind literally was blown when I watched this video. So I was like, I'm going to do that. That is literally what I will do to get over my fear of publishing on KDP. So I had recently watched a video about this guy who was saying that the richest people in the world, the millionaires that he's interviewed, they all write to-do lists and not to-do lists every day. I'm like, really? They all do that? But okay, sure. I'm not rich. I don't know. So I was like, you know what? Let me see if that is on the internet. And it wasn't. So I wrote it. And by writing it, I mean, I went on Canva and I literally printed out. I'll show you. I just made this myself. So it's a to-do list, not to-do list. It's just a bunch of lines with like a nice pattern in the middle. And then it says to do and then not to do with an X. So you know, check is yes, X is no. What to do. So this is my to-do, not to-do list. And I actually have been using it. And I put the quote from that YouTube video that I put here on the front. And here's some of my stuff that there's a lot of things I not to do because I don't like telling myself not to do things. But I'm trying to become a millionaire, so maybe it'll work. Who knows? I'll let you know. Anyway, so it took me all of like 20 minutes. It took more time to like log in to these various websites than it did to actually write it and do the work. So, which was great. it really was a huge boost of confidence for me. So all you have to do is make one page, because you just copy the same page 50 times. So I have 50 pages of this. I made my cover. My cover took the longest part. So it just has some dots here on the top of it. It's the same tiny house logo green, so everything will match. And then the back is just dots. So it's a really thin book. And Amazon printed it for me. And I put it on Amazon. I think my price is way too high. It's $5.99. Maybe I need to put my price down. So anyway, so this is what it looks like. This is KDP Direct Publishing. And this is where you just put in a new title. This is my book, To-Do, Not To-Do list. Excuse me. And this is how much I've sold. Oh, pardon. Okay, so I'm going to go back the last 90 days. So this little tick is my mom buying the book, and this little tick is my sister buying the book, and this little tick is me buying 10 copies of it for myself. And that is all. So I have 10 of these, and I was planning on giving to my friends, but I don't have many friends here, so we'll see what happens. But honestly, it's not about the sales. I don't care because I've only sold 2. And how much I've made, have I really made $17? I mean, I had to pay, so I doubt that. But anyway, I don't think you get the money unless you make a certain amount anyway. So anyway, so basically the purpose of doing that was so that I could get over my fear of self-publishing for the first time on KDP and figuring out what buttons you push and what it looks like and yada, yada, yada. So I highly suggest, highly suggest you make your own journal. When I first started working for myself, I would write out like a to-do list, a not to-do list, things I was grateful for, and the date. So if you have like a special thing that you want to have a customizable journal that like has, I don't know, what you're making for dinner that night, how many minutes you worked out every day, what your to-do list, not to-do list is, what you're grateful for, what your daily affirmation is, whatever it may be. Just make it, because it's free. It's literally free. Canva is free. You can make a cover that literally just says your name if you want. You can upload it to KDP for free, and you can get it sent to you. I mean, it's not free, that part, but it is quite affordable if it's your own book to get it printed out. So I don't have to pay $5.99 to get this printed out. I pretty much paid, how much was it? Like $40 or some dollars for 10 of these. And I had to pay a ridiculous fee for the shipping because I'm in New Zealand. But still, that's a pretty good deal if you want something published, bound, professional looking-ish, depending on how well you are at doing it, sent to your front door. And then you can order as many as you want whenever you want, basically on Amazon. So use it to your advantage. It's 100% free. It's 100% free to do this. The buying it part is not. So I think that's all I wanted to say. Basically, to summarize, writing a book is really hard. It's taken me a very, very, very long time. I've told many people about this and have failed. Every year I've failed to get this out of my system. But I will do it. I am doing it. I was just scared about failing and not knowing what to do, but there's ways around that if you have that same fear. You can publish a low content book on Amazon to get over your fear of hitting that publish button. You can use helpful, my phone is always at the wrong time. You can use helpful programs like Reedsy to find an editor and a formatter and to make it convenient for you to write your book. And most importantly is you just actually have to sit down and do the work. So I have done all of those things. I am in the process. I will take you through the process. And hopefully, if you're interested, you will want to read my book. If you do not, and you want to write your own book, I hope that you will be able to do that as well. Because I think everybody should. If everybody wrote one book, authors and Amazon would look more like the world. It doesn't right now. It looks like a very, very, very privileged, very white group of people and very cis male, who tend to dominate Amazon, the bestseller list, yada, yada, yada. I don't need to go into about the publishing world. The publishing world looks a certain way. And if you don't look like that, try to write a book and contribute in your own way to help make it a bit more reflective of what the reality of the world is, basically, is what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to tell myself I'm doing. So my book hopefully will be coming out next month, the month after. We'll see. Hopefully July. I'll tell myself July is my goal. And then I'll be able to move on to other bigger and better projects. And I definitely want to make more low content books because it is a lot of fun. It's the creative in me. So right now I'm working on a welder themed coloring book for Patrick. He's like, oh, I would totally do a welder themed coloring book. So I've been working on that. And I just want to get this book out of the way so I can do other cool coloring books and other cool like daily affirmation books. Or I think it would be really cool to do a journal notebook that helps you build a tiny house. Same thing with a journal notebook that helps you to write a book so you can do all the research. Oh, that was the one last thing I was going to show you. I forgot. So to figure out what my categories and my keywords are going to be for the book, I purchased this program called Publisher Rocket. And oh my God, it is so, so cool. You can look up whatever you want. And I absolutely love it because I am such a nosy person. I'm the kind of person that like goes to open houses just to see like what's inside other people's houses. So this just satisfies a huge itch for me. Actually, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another search. I'm going to do Tiny House on Wheels. This is what I was researching for the Tiny House book. Tiny House on Wheels, just regular book. My mouse is outside. She wants to come in, but she'll be loud if I let her in. Okay, so let's do Tiny House on Wheels. You can only analyze whatever you want to analyze, so it doesn't like take so long. I'm gonna do this one, and I'm gonna do just Tiny House on trailer, Tiny House build, Tiny House book. Okay, so all of these have pretty good competitive scores, I'd say. People are looking it up. Here we go. This is a perfect one. This is a good one. This has the highest monthly earnings average. It has a very low number of competitors. It's got at least 380 searches. This is either on Amazon or Google. The amount of people that type that into Google, whatever. The competitive score is pretty good. So I'm going to look at the competition that have that keyword tiny house book. I wish you could rank it. I wish you could do that. I wish they had that option on this thing. Anyway, so let's look at this one. Tiny House Designing, Building, and Living, Idiot's Guides, plural, okay? It's by this Andrew. Okay, just look at the names. Come on. Andrew, Dan, Charlie, Ryan, Roger, Brent, Derek, David, and that's it. I mean, I'm sensing a theme here, a theme. The monthly sales, that's flipping good. I would be very, very happy with that. I'd be happy with that. I'd be happy with $1. Okay, let's be honest. So you can see all these great books, which is pretty cool. So that's definitely, here. This is the book we have. Someone gave this to us as a So our tiny house was on Bryce Langston's YouTube page back in the beginning. So you can Google that. We have a lot of views, and then we did our own tour video, and it has like 100 views or whatever. So really having the audience makes a big difference. And so he didn't make any sales today. Poor Bryce. He makes $578 a month on his book. That is amazing. And his book is really nice. It's like a really good coffee table book. And we have it up in the tiny house because someone gave it to us as a housewarming present. That's what it was. Okay, so let's check out this first one. Check it out. So it takes you to the page. This is how many ratings it has. That's pretty good. Now let's look at the categories. So when I publish my book, I can choose, I forget how many they let you choose. I think you can choose like 3 categories or something. But you can email Amazon and tell them, or you can email Kindle and tell them what other categories you want your house to be in. So that is what I plan on doing. So all you need to do is have 12 sales to be in the top 10 of this category. Books, crafts, hobbies, and home improvement, small homes, and cottages. That's the least competitive category to be in right now if you're doing like tiny house things compared to all these. So that's pretty cool. But I love this little handy button. This is Unleash the Categories. That gives you all the categories from all the books on that page that we just looked at. And so some of these categories are flipping weird as hell. Okay, so this one. All you have to do is sell one book to be in the top 10. Oops, why did that do that? Out of books, arts and photography, decorative arts and design, interior home design, decoration, ornament, and style. I didn't even know about that one, so I'm going to copy that. I'm going to save it so that when my book is uploaded, I can email Amazon saying, hi, yes, I'd also like to show up in this category. So I just like to look through these and see what the cheapest one, the easiest one is to break into. So that one's only 4. That one you only need to sell 5 books, 9, 8, 3, 1. See, why would you put your tiny house book into this category? It seems really unethical almost to be able to rank number 1. But the higher you're ranked, the more people see your book. And that's what's the most important thing, honestly. Concrete, material sciences, concrete. I mean, those are just a little too left field for me. I wouldn't attempt that. But there are some easier ones that are pretty low low barrier to entry. So, Publisher Rocket, I think I paid $200 for that. My editing is going to be $551. I paid, how much did I pay for the cover? $300 some dollars. Listen, I personally need to throw money at things to make me do it. Because if I don't, then I won't. So you can absolutely edit your book yourself. You can absolutely design your own cover yourself. I mean, I designed this cover myself. It didn't kill me. Okay? So there are, I don't even know where my face is. I haven't seen it in forever. There are ways to do it for cheaper. A lot of ways to do it for cheaper. But I chose to do it this way. You do not have to do it this way. You don't have to spend as much money as I have. I spent a lot of money. Yeah, that's my plan. So I'm going to get this book out. I want you to, if you want to write a book, to have the confidence to do it as well using the tools that I've showed you. There's lots of other tools out there. Do your research if you want something different. If something doesn't appeal to you, something isn't working, find something else. And yeah, I hope you're having a great day. I really, really, really want to thank you for watching this video. And yeah, please comment below if you have subscribed to our channel as a result of this video. Please comment below if you have any questions. And please join our newsletter. I put out a Substack newsletter about every 2 months or so, so it's really not that bad. Because I will be telling you when the book is going to be released, which is pretty helpful. And I'll also send out, the cover once I get the cover back. So that'll be great. Okay, guys, just to summarize, I split up this whole process into 4 separate parts just so I could get my head around it. I didn't cover part 4 in this video at all, so you can do your own research. Okay, so basically, part 1 is you have to come up with an idea first. I use the blog for my idea. Outline it. I use the blog as my basic outline. You have to write the book. I ended up using Reedsy at the end because it was the program I liked the most. There's a gazillion out there, so you can choose whatever works for you. The second part is the behind the scenes stuff. You got to get your title, subtitle, summary. You can either make your cover yourself or you can outsource it. I used 100 covers, editing and formatting. Use whoever you want. Do it yourself. I used Reedsy and Fiverr. Well, I will be using Fiverr. And then the last part is upload it, get your keywords and category all together and your pricing. I used Publisher Rocket for comparisons. And then I did my own low content book to practice uploading it. And I have yet to do an author page. Okay, so my video got cut off. I don't know why. Probably because I'm completely inept and I'm getting tired of talking. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to the 700 some subscribers we have now. I really, really, really appreciate your support. I hope you're having a great day. Thanks for watching to the end, and we'll catch you guys next time. Bye.